Passion in itself is something that can be inbuilt, something that you can create. So you can create a passion for yourself in the process of trying to discover, and it has to be a conscious decision. It has to be a conscious decision too. And like I mentioned, you need to write them down. Write them down, write a list of things that you love doing over and over again. I would like to say that discovering your passion is a great step in the right direction. Finding something that you love to do, and there are different questions that you need to ask yourself in the process of discovering your passion. Um, Sometimes it can be very hard to discover that thing that you're passionate about, and in some cases, you can actually create a passion. So today I'll be sharing some of the my top tips, because I have a passion as well. I have things I'm passionate about, and it's not like some of them are maybe you could have passions that are inbuilt, maybe from childbirth. They're just you're just born with them, but some of them you develop them over time. I'm going to be sharing some tips with you today, and if you're watching this, it means that you're not sure what you're passionate about, or you're trying to discover your passion. And so I want you to stay till the end. If this is the first time you're joining us, thanks for joining. This is the Bola Adeyeye Omishade Show. It is a community where we support people to be the best version of themselves. So thank you for joining. Now, do not forget to subscribe and also like this video at the end if you have enjoyed it. And subscribing and clicking on the notification button would help you so that you don't miss our future episodes. So thanks for being part of this community. And of course, to my returning viewers, yes, as usual, I'm excited that you are here again. And yeah, thanks for your consistent support. Now, in the process of trying to discover your passion, you have to keep trying, and it has to be a very conscious effort on, because in some cases, some people just find themselves in maybe jobs that they get really tired of, or they just go to those jobs to get the bills paid, which is okay. But your passion can actually become a career path, you know, and there's different things that you need to look out for, to say, this is what I am passionate about, and this is what I can, this thing that I love to do, I don't get tired of doing, can evolve and become a career path for me. And the first thing I would suggest that you look out for, you want to grab a pen and paper, because this is a conscious decision. It's a conscious effort to actually identify or discover that part. So write those things that you really like. When I mean you really like, something that you do not get tired of doing, that's the first thing. So what is it I would spend so much time doing, or I don't get distracted, or I cannot leave any other thing? It's you. What is that thing that you just want to do for a long time, or something that you can get carried away doing without getting distracted? You need to write that down. The other thing you want to look at is, sometimes you admire some things, some maybe skills, or some things in some other people. You want to write those things down. What are those things that I admire in other people? You know, and then you want to write those down. You also want to ask yourself, what would I like to do? Sometimes you would have some things that you really want to do, although you might not have had the opportunity to do them, or you might not have maybe found yourself in a situation where you spend so much time doing them. You want to write those down as well. Now, when you write those down, you want to ask yourself, okay, what resources do I have in order to build and improve on these one or two, three things? Now, do not forget, you cannot do everything at the same time. You really have to streamline them. So before you think of the resources, that is one way of actually streamlining and picking, and what can I start doing like now? Because in the process of trying to discover a passion, you have to start now. And I always say that, because change starts right from today. If you want to change something, it has to start like now. So you need to think of, what is it I can, out of this list that I have, which one of them do I have the resources to start now? And if you find out that maybe it's the one where it's something that you love to do, maybe you have seen in somebody. For me, you can develop a passion. You can create it, because when you do things time now and again, you do it all the time, you schedule times to do it, you get used to it. And it's just like with me, reading and researching is my go-to area. It's so bad that even when I'm not happy, or maybe when I'm going through some challenges or something, it's my go-to area is just to get on my computer and start doing research. And this is not something that I have just, maybe I had it from childbirth. I didn't have that. I remember sometimes, just I think at the end of my secondary school year, my elder sister one time I think it was close to the time where I was going to write my the first school living certificate exam. She was so crossed with me, and she was saying, you must read, and I said, no, I'm not reading. So for me for reading to become a passion for me now, for reading to become something that I love to do, is something that I have actually built. I think it's because I did them over and over, or I did it over and over again, and now it has become a passion for me. So you can do the same as well. You can create a passion for yourself, And so whatever is that thing that you feel that I really want to do this thing, you need to actually make a conscious effort to start doing them now and again, all the time, because the moment you find yourself doing them over and over again, it starts becoming a passion. And that's based on my own life experience, and that's with reading. Now, when you try to look at things that you love doing and you don't get tired of, I'll give you another example that I have. It's just like I like to make people happy, and for those that are close to me or those that are around me know that I like to put a smile on people's face and give people great experience. And shockingly, of course, some of you know that I'm a lecturer. I lecture on user experience, and when you see me teaching, a couple of my students have said that I teach passionately, because it's something that I am really passionate about, and that reflects in not just within the academic environment, it reflects in my family life, because I want to try and put a smile. I want to give people good experience with their birthdays. I want to make them happy, give them great experience. So it is something that I like to do, and I do it unconsciously, and to be honest, I can go I can go I can go on and on trying to look for different ways of trying to give people a great experience. And this is something I'm passionate about. This is something that I don't get fed up of doing. you know. And recently, if some of you have seen, I started to, I'm passionate about table settings, tablescapes and all that. And I know that a lot of people liked it and like it, and of course getting those cutleries and those plates and all those, you know, those accessories are quite expensive. And then I started thinking of ways of actually getting people to have the same experience, even when they cannot afford to have so much plates at home and buy all those things, because trust me, some of these things can be very expensive. And then for so many months, I started researching and thinking of, you know, and then I came up with luxury disposables on how people can have the same experience as I used to, or as I have, you know, how they can have the same experience, you know. So I put this together, and I know a lot of people embraced it because it's something that they really want, you know. So I am passionate about giving people great experience, and I can go extra lengths in looking for, or in researching on how to do this. And so that applies to you. If you know that there is something that you can go beyond, you can go far and above, you can spend so much time researching on, you can spend so much time listening to, you know, or you can spend so much time watching somebody who does something similar, then that can be a pointer to say that, okay, this is something that you're passionate about. Now, if you remember that I mentioned that there are some of those things that you probably have had when you were younger, or maybe they are imbued, you were born with them. But at some point, it's not everything that you were born with that actually grows up with you. Some of them, there's a season for everything. Some of them you just drop them along the way. And it's just like for me with dancing. I know that when I was young, I was told that I used to dance a lot. And my father, of course, owned the school. And then when they had the yearly end of session party or end of term time party, you know, everyone was always looking forward to come and see me dance. And, you know, because I would dance. And, you know, although I still like to dance now, but it's not something I'm passionate about. In fact, I can't even dance, you know. I recently on my birthday, my elder sister was saying to me, oh, your dancing has improved, you know. And anyone who saw me when I was a baby would have felt, oh my God, she's going to be a dancer. No. I like to, and of course I get tired of dancing. It's not like I like to dance all the time. But if you're thinking of the fact that when I was younger, I was a dancer, you know, in the Yoruba language, they used to call me like you the dancer, you know, in that way, because I was always dancing. So what am I trying to say here is sometimes there are some things that you grow up with, that you're passionate with when you were younger, or maybe previously, and you're just not longer passionate about it. So you don't want to keep pushing yourself. You really need to know when to stop and say, okay, this is something that I used to be passionate about in the past, but not anymore. So you need to be very careful and think about that as well, so that you can move on to the next one. Because if you've realized that previously you used to be passionate about something, and then all of a sudden just get tired, you feel frustrated when you don't really find the joy that you used to have when you're doing them, then it's time to move on. And like I will say, there's a season for everything. So your passion sometimes as well have seasons, you know. There are times where something you used to love, you don't do them and you don't like them anymore. So you need to know actually when to stop. You know, now in regards to looking at what other people do that you like, it has to be a conscious effort to if it's something that you need to go and learn the skill, it requires a lot, you know. And like I said, it's not just creating or discovering a passion is just not an adventure, you know. It's an adventure in itself, but it's not a luxury adventure. Sometimes you have to put in so much effort to build it, you know. So if it's gaining extra skills, or because sometimes it is frustrating when you are passionate about something and you don't even understand it. you're passionate about something and you're not doing it in the right way, you need to actually you need to what's the word, you need to invest. That's it. You need to invest in that passion and you need to get better. Now, because you love something and because you don't get tired of doing it, does not mean that you're an expert in that thing. You need to actually improve on what you have. So no knowledge is lost, and there's no end to knowledge. We all learn every day. So improve that passion, add value, add more value to what you already have, and you find out that you get better and better over time. You get better and better. So make conscious effort to invest in that passion and get better with it. Now, if you also remember that I said that you have a list, you write them all down. You need to be very careful to ensure that you're not putting all your eggs in one basket, because to be honest, if the basket is too heavy, you might end up throwing the eggs away. So be very careful, because if you say, I love to do this, for example, me, I said I love to dance, I love giving people great experience, I love this, I love that, I'll probably be what's it called, jack of all trade and master of none. So you need to know which one you really want to be a master of, And for me, this is one secret that a lot of people do not know. I am, it's a secret I'm going to share now. I'm passionate about giving people great experience. And if you see in my life, even in my home, you see that everything, just with the disposable tablescapes that I've started creating, is I'm trying to give people great experience with having their dinner, with having their lunch, with having their family time together. And if you see my career path as well, what I lecture is on giving people user experience. So everything I do which is one thing, and which is what people have not observed that it is. And some people will say, oh, you need to go into decorating, you need to, you need to do this, you need to do that. But of course, I actually do what I love to do or what I'm passionate about, but in different ways. You see, I lecture user experience, I lecture, interaction, how people interact with things. So, and of course, so they're sort of tied in together. So at some point, your passion might not be spelled out to say that this is it exactly, but there is a connection between what you currently do and what you're passionate about. And like I said earlier, your passion can actually be a career path. The other thing you want to also think about is, in order to discover your passion, is you want to ask yourself questions like, if I am financially well, I don't need money, I don't, what is that thing that you want to spend your time doing? So ask yourself that, what is that thing that if you don't need any financial, resources, and you don't want it to be a career path, what is that thing that you would spend so much time doing? Some people, just for example, just like gardening, so it's that, those are sort of pointers to tell you that this is something that you are passionate about. So passion in itself is something that can be inbuilt, something that you can create. So you can create a passion for yourself in the process of trying to discover, and it has to be a conscious decision. It has to be a conscious decision too. And like I mentioned, you need to write them down. Write them down, write a list of things that you love doing over and over again, things that you don't get fed up of doing, things that you don't get fed up of talking about. Oh my God, you need to see me when I'm talking about giving people great experience, or when I'm trying to give people great experience, or when I'm trying to, and sometimes my siblings will say, oh, you actually can emphasize on things though, but I don't think any one of them have been careful to observe that what it is that I like to give people, it's something I'm passionate about. Okay, so I talk about it over and over and over again. So when you find yourself talking about something passionately, when you find yourself talking about, you don't get tired of doing it. You don't get tired of sharing what you think. Sometimes you get into conversation with some people, and then they're so engrossed, they're passionate about it, then you also that that's something you're passionate about. And then in some cases, you can actually get family and friends, your friends or your family or your close ones, and say, you ask them to observe you. What are the things that you notice that I don't get tired of doing? Because you might be oblivious about it. So you can get them to say, okay, what do you think I like doing? And one or two people, when there is something that is consistent that people say that you like to do, then that's something that you're passionate about. That's if you yourself find it very difficult to discover it in your own way, and you're not able to conclude that this is something that you are passionate about. So get your loved ones to tell you, to say to you that, okay, this is what we think you like doing, and then you can still write that down and do a check and balance. So for you there who is struggling to actually develop your passion, I'm going to summarize all I have said. Try and look out, write them down, write those things that you like to do, write those things that you don't get tired of doing. Write down those things that that even from maybe you've had from childhood, something. Everybody has something that is different about them. Everyone has something that it's unique about them. So write that thing that is unique about you, that it's been from childhood. That thing that you can, when you're talking about it, you don't get tired of talking about it. You get engrossed. You get engrossed in talking about it. Write them down, and then you weigh them down. You compare them with the resources that you have, the financial resources, the time resources, weigh them down, and then you need to filter them, because of course you don't, like I mentioned, you don't want to start doing everything together and then you end up not doing any one, and then you still get frustrated because you are doing so many things at the same time. And of course you can get people, like I said, you can get people to tell you this is what I have observed that you like to do. So I want you to share your thoughts. How have you discovered your passion? How have you discovered that thing that you like to do? And then, of course, whatever you like to do can become a passion, okay? And you can also make conscious when you see something in somebody, you like something in somebody, that you can actually make conscious effort to do that thing yourself over and over again, and you find that it becomes a passion. A passion can be your career path as well. It does not necessarily have to be, but it can also be your career path. And also sometimes there's a tie between maybe your career path and what you like to do. Somehow just try and look for something that is consistent across all areas of your life, and then you should be able to clearly see that thing that you're passionate about. So I want to hear from you. Tell me, what is that thing you're passionate about, and how have you been able to know that, or to discover, or to find that passion, to know that this is something I don't get tired of doing, this is something that I like to do. And to be honest, I think you want to spend, if the moment you have identified that this is something that you like to do, do not hesitate to keep doing it over and over again, and improve on yourself, improve on that passion, extend and get better at doing that thing. And of course, you can also make it your career path, not necessarily, but yeah, you can. So yeah, share with me that thing that you're passionate about, or ways in which you have discovered your passion. I know that others will be willing to read from you, to hear from you. Share with us so that others can learn. And if you think there is somebody who has spoken to you or is struggling with discovering their passion, maybe they might be able to pick one or two things from what I have shared. So feel free to share this with them. And yes, give it a thumbs up if you have enjoyed it. And yes, this is me again, Bola Adeyeye Omishade. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again next week. Yeah. Now, just before I say I go, do not forget to send in your questions and those topics that you want me to treat. And of course, the email is on the screen. And yes, I'll see you next week. This is Bola Adeyeye Omishade. Bye.